What if I told you that your entire future, your health, your career, your relationships, your sense of dignity, comes down to one thing: your habits? Not your dreams, not your intentions, not even your talents, just the simple, repeated actions you allow to take root in your daily life. Think about it. Every morning, the way you wake up, the words you choose, the way you treat people, it's all habit. And those habits slowly carve the path of your destiny. If your habits are constructive, your life grows stronger. If your habits are destructive, even the brightest future can collapse. Now let's take a hard example: sexual harassment at work. Some think this is just a momentary mistake, but in reality it's the result of habits. Habits of ignoring respect, habits of indulging impulse, habits of believing you can act without consequences. And like any toxic habit, it spreads. It damages not just the one committing it, but everyone around. It poisons a workplace, kills trust, destroys careers, and leaves wounds that take years to heal. Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, it's a habit. But the same is true for failure, disrespect, and even cruelty. They are not accidents, they are habits practiced over time. The good news? Any habit can be broken, and any life can be rebuilt. So ask yourself, what small things are you practicing every day? Are they building respect, self-control, and discipline? Or are they silently training you for regret? Every time you choose respect, you strengthen that habit. Every time you choose discipline over impulse, you hardwire a stronger future. Books like Atomic Habits remind us that tiny changes compound into massive results. A person who develops the habit of respect, honesty, and self-awareness becomes unstoppable, not just in health or career, but in influence and impact. Your habits are either your prison or your freedom. They either chain you to destructive cycles, or they set you free to live with dignity and power. And when you build habits of integrity, you never have to fear exposure, because you've already chosen the higher ground. So the challenge is simple. Identify the destructive habits, especially those that hurt others, and cut them off before they grow stronger. Replace them with habits that uplift, not just you, but everyone you touch. Your habits control your life, and the life you live tomorrow is being rehearsed in the habits you practice today. Choose them wisely. Would you like me to also make this speech slightly longer and more story-driven, with a few short real-life style examples, like a professional who lost everything due to bad habits and another who thrived by choosing respect? That would make it even more motivational and engaging. Habits shape the direction of your entire life. Think about that for a moment. You don't end up where you are today because of one big decision. It's the thousands of tiny, almost invisible choices you make every single day. The food you put on your plate, the way you respond when someone challenges you, the thoughts you allow to linger in your mind. These little actions might feel small, but they are the bricks that build your future. If you choose a habit of discipline, you get stronger. If you choose a habit of carelessness, you get weaker. It's like steering a ship. Even a tiny turn of the wheel changes the entire destination over time. Your habits are not just routines, they are the silent architects of your destiny. When you look at successful people, it's not luck that got them there, it's the invisible structure of their daily habits. And when you see someone stuck, broken, or trapped in cycles of failure, it's almost always because of habits they refuse to confront. What you do consistently is far more powerful than what you do occasionally, because consistency shapes identity. Ultimately, your habits don't just control your day, they control your life. The smallest daily actions create long-term results. Most people think big success comes from massive breakthroughs or one lucky moment, but that's rarely true. It's the tiny choices, repeated again and again, that carve out your future. Drinking a glass of water instead of a soda doesn't change your life today, but do it for a year and your body feels different. Choosing to listen instead of interrupting may not seem significant in the moment, but over time it builds respect, trust, and influence. The danger is that small destructive actions also compound. Ignoring a boundary once makes it easier to ignore it again. A careless joke at work that disrespects someone may feel harmless, but repeated over weeks or months, it creates an atmosphere that damages careers and relationships. That's the hidden power of small actions. They multiply silently until they either build your success or sabotage it. Every small action is like a seed. You may not notice the growth right away, but eventually you will harvest exactly what you planted. Toxic habits, whether in health or behavior, can silently destroy success. The danger is that they rarely announce themselves with loud alarms. Instead, they creep in quietly, disguising themselves as harmless routines. Skipping sleep a few nights a week feels manageable until fatigue becomes your new normal. Making one inappropriate comment at work might seem like nothing, but it can grow into a pattern that erodes trust and respect. These habits work in the background like termites in wood. You don't see the damage immediately, but over time they hollow out everything strong in your life. What makes toxic habits especially dangerous is their ability to feel comfortable. They offer short-term relief, a quick laugh, or temporary pleasure, but the long-term cost is enormous. They eat away at health, reputation, relationships, and opportunity. Success isn't just about building good habits. It's also about recognizing and cutting out the destructive ones before they take root. Because unchecked, toxic habits don't just slow you down, they can quietly dismantle everything you've worked for. Respect and discipline are habits, not accidents. Nobody wakes up one day suddenly filled with discipline or automatically respectful. It's something you train into yourself through consistent practice. Respect shows up in the little choices, listening when others speak, treating coworkers with dignity, and choosing words carefully even when you're frustrated. Discipline is the same. It's not about waiting for motivation. It's about showing up, following through, and keeping your impulses in check. When someone brushes off respect or loses discipline, it's not just a single mistake. It's a sign of the habits they've been practicing. Over time, a lack of respect becomes visible in broken trust, toxic workplaces, and damaged relationships, while a lack of discipline shows itself in missed opportunities and wasted potential. The truth is, respect and discipline are muscles. The more you exercise them, the stronger they get. And when those two habits are solid in your life, they act as anchors, keeping you steady, reliable, and trustworthy no matter what storm comes your way. Sexual harassment at work is a destructive behavior rooted in unchecked habits. It doesn't appear out of nowhere. It grows from repeated choices, ignoring boundaries, normalizing disrespect, and allowing impulses to control behavior. What starts as a careless comment or inappropriate joke can evolve into a toxic pattern that poisons the environment for everyone. Each act of harassment chips away at trust, dignity, and safety, leaving scars that can last a lifetime. The tragedy is that the harasser often convinces themselves it's harmless or justified, but in reality, it's the result of habits formed from neglecting self-control and respect. Just like smoking damages the lungs little by little, harassment damages the workplace, eroding morale, productivity, and mental health. A culture of safety and respect is built when individuals discipline their habits, choosing integrity over impulse, awareness over ignorance, and respect over selfishness. Without this shift, harassment remains a symptom of deeper habits left unchallenged, habits that destroy both people and careers. Your internal mindset creates the culture around you. The way you think, the beliefs you hold, and the attitudes you carry don't stay hidden inside. They spill outward into every interaction. If your mindset is rooted in respect, patience, and awareness, people around you feel safe, valued, and motivated. But if your mindset is careless, selfish, or dismissive, it shows up in the way you speak, the way you treat coworkers, and the standards you set without even realizing it. A single negative mindset can infect an entire workplace, just as a single positive mindset can uplift and transform it. Think of mindset like the climate. It determines whether the environment is toxic or healthy, oppressive or empowering. When someone chooses to feed their mind with discipline, knowledge, and humility, that habit becomes visible. It shapes how others respond, how teams function, and how problems get solved. The culture of any environment is simply the echo of the habits and mindsets of the people inside it, starting with you. Replacing destructive habits with constructive ones transforms both personal and professional life. The moment you stop feeding a negative pattern, you create space for a better one to grow. For example, Choosing to replace gossip with encouragement doesn't just change your reputation, it shifts the atmosphere around you. Replacing impulsive reactions with thoughtful responses doesn't just reduce conflict, it builds respect and influence. These swaps may feel small in the beginning, but they are powerful because every constructive habit compounds over time. It's like upgrading the foundation of a building. The stronger the base, the taller and more stable the structure can rise. The same applies to work and relationships. A person who replaces habits of disrespect with habits of integrity not only avoids damage but gains trust, credibility, and long-term success. Transformation never happens overnight, but it does happen through replacement, trading destructive patterns for habits that uplift, protect, and create lasting growth. Each swap is a step toward a life that reflects the best version of who you can be. Building self-awareness is the first step to breaking negative cycles. You can't change what you refuse to see. Most destructive habits continue not because people want to hurt themselves or others, but because they're blind to the patterns driving their behavior. Self-awareness acts like a mirror. It forces you to look honestly at your choices, your reactions, and even your excuses. When you pause to ask, why did I respond that way? Why do I keep repeating this pattern? You start uncovering the roots of your habits. Without awareness, you live on autopilot, letting impulses control your actions. But with awareness, you create the space to choose differently. It's uncomfortable at first because it means confronting your flaws, but it's also liberating because once you recognize a destructive habit, you gain the power to replace it. Awareness doesn't fix everything on its own, but it opens the door to transformation. And until that door is opened, no real change can ever begin. The habit of integrity builds lasting trust and success. Integrity isn't just about big decisions, it's about the countless small choices you make when no one is watching. Do you keep your promises? Do you respect others even when there's nothing to gain? Do you stay honest even when dishonesty seems easier? Every time you choose integrity, you strengthen your character, and over time, people begin to see you as reliable, trustworthy, and consistent. That trust becomes the foundation of both personal and professional success. Without integrity, any achievement is fragile. It can collapse the moment dishonesty or disrespect is exposed. But with integrity as a habit, your success is stable because it's rooted in truth. Integrity also protects you. When your habits align with your values, you never have to fear being found out because you're already living transparently. In the long run, integrity doesn't just open doors, it keeps them open, creating opportunities that last because they're built on a solid foundation of trust. Lasting motivation comes from aligning habits with values. Motivation alone fades. It's like a spark that burns out if it doesn't have fuel. The real fuel is the connection between what you do every day and what you deeply believe in. When your habits reflect your values, discipline feels natural, not forced. For example, if you value health, then eating clean or exercising isn't a burden. It's a reflection of who you are. If you value respect, then treating others with dignity becomes automatic. But when your habits conflict with your values, you feel drained, guilty, and unmotivated, because deep down you know you're betraying yourself. The most powerful motivation is not external. It doesn't come from rewards, applause, or fear of punishment. It comes from alignment, when your daily actions match the person you want to be. That's when habits stop being a struggle and start becoming a lifestyle. And once that alignment is in place, your life gains a momentum that no setback, no distraction, and no temptation can easily stop.